So there's a thing about the religion of the Great Kingdom that I wanted to discuss today. It's something I've been thinking about for a long, long time, and I thought I could, take today to kind of tease out some things about the religion in the Great Kingdom today on Greyhawk Grognard. So one of the things that's always intrigued me about the Great Kingdom is the fact that it's bounded on either side by a religious state. And those two religious states are at complete odds with one another. Using my one of my maps, which has been, destroyed and got put out into its component parts. So if you look over here, we've got the Great Kingdom in the middle, and over on the east we've got the Sea of Medegia, which is over here, and then over on the west we've got the Prelacy of Almor. So just to set the stage of the geography of what we're talking about. And what always struck me is that those two states are religious states. A prelacy is a nation that's led by a prelate, and a prelate is like a priest, a cleric. And the same thing with the See of Medegia. The See is like the Holy See in Roman Catholicism. It is a place where a religious leader is the head of state. And in that case, we've got the arch censor. Spideza is the leader. And so we've got these two religious states on either side of the Great Kingdom, and we know that Hextor is currently, as of 576 through through the wars anyway, the Hextor is a very prominent deity worshipped in the Great Kingdom. So it always occurred to me that in Almor, which is a good nation, as opposed to Medegia, which is an evil nation, we have a rivalry there between the followers of Hextor off to the east and the followers of his brother Heironeous to the west. And it makes a lot of sense, given the geography, that you would have these two related religious lands within the boundaries of the Great Kingdom. Of course, Almor later broke away when Furiondi broke away from the Great Kingdom, but I'm talking about earlier in the history. So I can envision a time when the whole family of deities, because remember, Hextor and Heironeous are brothers, and they're also their other brother is the lawful neutral god of war. Stratus, who we learn about in the 2001 chainmail game, which and his worship is concentrated across the ocean, presumably by people coming from the area of the Great Kingdom centuries ago. So we've got the lawful good Heironeous, we've got the lawful neutral Stratus, and we've got the lawful evil Hextor, all in this same area. And we also know that from the town of Pontilver, down here, that Stern Alia, who is a lawful neutral goddess, and the mother of Heironeous and Hextor and presumably Stratus, is also, her worship is found there too. So it kind of reinforces the idea, that this family of gods, this we've got the mother and then the three lawful gods underneath her, all of which deal with war in some aspect, all come from the area of the Great Kingdom, and that we see this rivalry between. Ultimately, when the worship of Stratus pretty much moves off to the over the ocean, we've got the Sea of Medegia becomes ascendant as the Great Kingdom, as the Overking and Rauxes becomes more and more evil and decadent, and that feeds into the Prelacy of Almor breaking away with Nyrond. And I always liked that idea, because it not only does it give a sort of a richness to the religious aspect of the Great Kingdom, and we don't really know that much about the details of the Great Kingdom. And we know that there are, or at least were, good aligned clerics there. Even in the capital, and one famously had just denounced the Overking, and was being sought by the forces of the demonic Knights of Doom and so forth. So we know that there is some religio-political complexities going on in there. But I think that symmetry of the lawful good on the one side, lawful evil on the other, and then they're kind of battling for supremacy because the lawful neutral aspect had departed, and we don't really hear much about Stern Alia as a goddess early on in the setting, because she was introduced in the Hidden Shrine of Tamalkan, but that's kind of a meta thing. But anyway, in my the way I treat the Great Kingdom, I see that this holy family really having a great deal of influence over the history and the events of the Great Kingdom. And I thought I'd just drop that out there and see if anybody out there had thought of this. Does this make a lot of sense to you? Obviously, this doesn't preclude the worship of other Iridian gods out in the Great Kingdom, or other gods of other pantheons, of course. But I like the idea that they're this holy family is kind of the first among equals, and once the Great Kingdom slides into its phase of absolute evil and debauchery, then we see Hextor becoming truly ascendant, and Heironeous. Actually, the faithful of Heironeous mostly go away because now they're part of Nyrond once Nyrond breaks away from the Great Kingdom. So I kind of like the way that kind of plays out in the timeline of history of what we know is happening in the Great Kingdom. So let me know what you think of this idea. How do you use the religion to inform political events in your campaign? Specifically, I'm talking about the Great Kingdom, but this could apply to a lot of different places. Obviously, the Pale, the theocracy of the Pale is another example. Where we have the lawful neutral god Foltus is in charge. His followers are there, and they're great rivals of another lawful good god, Saint Cuthbert, and there's a lot of things you can do with that on that score. So anyway, just a reminder that people who support my Patreon get to see these videos 2 weeks before the rest of the world. So if you want to get this, you want to hear my great dollops of wisdom ahead of time, please head down. You'll find the link in the description. And hope you like this one. Hope this gave you a little food for thought. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.